What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another week, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, 30 NSG, and on today's show, we're going to be talking about PC Game Pass added 137 games worth over $4,000. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about 5 more heroes are reportedly coming to Marvel Rivals, including Professor X. We're going to also talk about Marvel Rivals has earned an estimated $130 million in its first month. Remember, it's a free-to-play game, and that's just basically off of, not basically, it is off of just microtransactions and battle passes and whatnot. We're also going to watch the 20 best things that we saw in Vegas at CES 2025. We watched a couple videos last week. It ended, so now we're going to watch the best 20 items that came out of there. If we have time, we're going to talk about the Meta Quest 3 will be able to play AAA console and PC games. So we'll talk about that a little bit. And then also Helldivers 2 director talks about their involvement with the upcoming movie. How's everyone doing? We do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We just cover news stories, have conversations, give you my thoughts and opinions, and then we move on with our day. What's going on, chat? Let me see who's all here. Mr. Luke, what's going on? Eclipse, Mo, Buddha Papa, Travis. Who am I missing? Scrolling down, looking at people. Argus, what's going on? Yes, 5 blows. Good morning. Kylo, good morning. Jason, what's going on? Bracken, what's going on? Kylo, Water Bear. Hello, hello. Make sure you guys hit that like button. It helps the channel out a lot. I went to a little like shindig this weekend. It was like the we have sort of like a, well, I don't. A person I know has a Christmas end of the year, like New Year's party, start of the year type of thing. It's like, it's after the new year, but it's like the end of all like parties or whatever. And I met a person there that works in YouTube, or not works for YouTube, but does YouTube content like myself, or he helps people do YouTube content. And it was an interesting conversation where he said it's going, and he named some people, and I can't remember off the top of my head. He named some people that I've never even heard of on YouTube, and they have like 937,000 subscribers, and I was just like, who? And I just thought about it, and we know like Asmongold, and we know like other people that are big in the gaming space, but it was just amazing to me because he has a business where he just helps other people grow their channels, and then he named like 4 or 5 people that all have like 400, 500, 900, almost 1 million people. And I was just like, nobody knows who I am. I am literally a speck, right? Because if I don't know someone that's 900 or 1 million subscribers on YouTube, who the hell knows me at 2.5 thousand? It was a cool conversation. It was a cool conversation. He's like, yeah, you need to do this. You need to do this every single day. You should get on Instagram. You should do this. And I was like, I don't know, man. I'm stubborn in my old age. I was stubborn in my young age. Jason says, I bought the Battle Pass, Gladiator Hulk, Psylocke skin this weekend. There you go. I know Mr. Luke bought the Sue Storm skin. That one's on fire, man. What is it, the Malice one? That one's a good skin. Because of all the assets and stuff. Kylo says, I have yet to play Marvel Rivals. If I make it and there's Space Wednesday, I'll give it a try. We're playing tonight. We'll probably play tomorrow. We're playing pretty much every night right now. That's the game I'm playing. Come on, Haley. I'm having a blast with it. I really like the new map. The New York map. What was it, Midtown? The Midtown map. So good. I like Sue Storm. I've used both of the new characters, Mr. Fantastic and Invisible Woman. I like him, but I don't love him. Right? I really like Invisible Woman. I think she's a cool. She's a really cool character to bring in. And then I've just been on the war path of learning Captain America. I'm very aggressive. I'm trying right now. I was playing with Mr. Luke this weekend. Like a light bulb went off. I've been watching. I took a page out of Tim the Tatman's book. Okay, I started watching top tier Captain America players. And let me tell you, man, I learned a shit ton. I'm very aggressive. I try not to go bloodthirsty. You know what I mean? Like if I get a couple hits in and all of a sudden I feel like I'm about to kill him, even if there's just a little bit, don't go for that last hit. Back out. Wait for another moment. I'm trying to do this more advanced move where when I'm Captain America, I'll dive in. Well, actually, what I do is I'll get in there fast, hit him, 2-tap them, back out, throw the shield a couple times, and then throw my shield. And I usually melt them because I can do damage about 300, 350. And for most people, that'll wipe out pretty much anybody. So it's go in for the healers. I'm having a blast with it. And with that, I picked up Cloak and Dagger, and I've been trying to work with her a little bit. I just got her up to the first, night class? And I've been doing pretty well. She's a pretty good character. I mean, pretty all-around character. I played 7 matches, and I got, I think, 5 MVPs out of the 7 matches that I played. I'm having a blast with it, man. And I'm looking forward to it. We're going to talk about that in a second, the new characters, and we've speculated what characters are coming into the game. I just hope that we can kind of calm down on the amount of people, because even though I want them to bring in 4 characters, and I know they've said that this is more than what they're going to bring out in other seasons, I still think they should bring more characters in every season, like at least minimum 4, but they might only do 2. And with all the characters that they have leaked or that they've data mined, if they're only bringing 2 per season, that means that they have the next 3 years planned out, right? So I hopefully they bring out more characters, because I don't want to wait 3 years to get a certain character. Just keep it coming, right? Just keep it coming. What's going on, El Dente? You don't like Midtown? Oh, and defending. I like both of them. I like both of them. It's a cool little board. I like the way it shifts and changes. The aiming, Mr. Luke posted something in our Marvel channel inside our Discord. So if you guys are in our Discord, you can go check that out. But in a third person, it's not just a Marvel Rivals thing. They said it's a third person thing. Actually, you know what? I'll just bring it up. Let me bring it up. Let me go to it. Right, and let him say it. Let him say it for you. All right, let me bring this up here for you.
That misses. If I aim to the right, that connects. Biggest tip in Marvel Rivals is because of the third person over the right shoulder, it's always better to aim to the right side. Watch what happens if I aim slightly to the left of the spot. Now look what happens if I aim to the right. Everything registers more. It's not even just projectile or hit scan heroes, it's melee as well. For example, magic, if I aim right here to the left, I go right by her. But if I aim all the way here, boom. So it's not so much like a Marvel Rivals issue, this is just a third person angle perspective deception. Biggest takeaway, always aim right side leaning from your...
So there you go. Make sure you're always aiming to the right side of anybody. Right side, don't go left at all. Because left, you will not hit them. So you aim for the right. You'll get a couple more shots in. Don't start spamming the controller and get it to the right side. Get it to the right side. Eclipse says, I love the new maps. They're also so good, and Destruction and Unreal surprises me in every time. I really like the Sanctum map. The every man for themselves mode. I really like that, because you get into these situations where it's a one-on-one. And you get other people come in against you every once in a while. But I really like the that mode. I wouldn't mind a 1v1 mode where you just go up against somebody. That would be interesting as well. Let me see what else you guys are saying. El Dente says, I wonder out of the 130 million, how much was the Sue Storm skin? Yeah, it was 129 million, I think. I think it was 129 million. They made $0 up until Sue Storm came out, and then that's when they made all the money. Jason says, I wish Magneto was better. If it's his kit feels so underwhelming. I don't know, man. I went up against the Magneto the other day. And I was so frustrated because I could not kill this man. I would get him down to a little bit, and then boom, he would come back up. And he actually, did he get MVP, Luke, when we were playing against that one match that we had? I could have sworn the Magneto. Roadkill says, "You want to make another bet, Mike? For what? What do you want to bet? What do you want to bet?" "30 says, or Travis says, 30, serious question. We all know DC copies Marvel, so when do we get DC frenemies? I mean, how can you say DC copies Marvel when Marvel copied Overwatch? Right? So, I mean, they're just copying Overwatch. They wouldn't be copying Marvel. I mean, sure, I guess it would be considered copying Marvel if they made a superhero game based on their superheroes. Let's see what he's saying. Robert Jones says you can't switch shoulders. Can you? No, you cannot switch shoulders. El Dente says, is that's the issue? Why not let them move the reticle to the right? Yeah, I don't understand why they don't move it over. It must be because of the character where they sit. Yeah, pro tips with 30. Well, I just want to, spread the wealth. You know what I mean? Spread the wealth. I just thought about it. When if you're shooting at me, right? Cap's got his shield up on his left side, which would be your right. Why take so much damage? Yeah, I think everyone has this with their character, right? I think someone says, like, I love Captain America, and then someone else says Captain America's shit. Someone likes Wolverine, but Wolverine is shit. Someone likes Magneto, but Magneto's underwhelming, right? Like everyone has their thing. I really, even though we're a month in, I really don't think a lot of people understand the characters yet. I mean, obviously, the 1%ers, the top 500 guys, whoever's in the top in that category, in that person, understands the character. But I'll tell you, man, I thought I was doing pretty good with Cap in the beginning. But then I was like, I'm not doing very well. My percentage of accuracy has gone up. My damage output has gone up. My kills have gone up. My deaths have gone down. Just watching some of and the replay system and the spectating system, I thought this was cool. So I've been playing a lot with Mr. Luke, right? Mr. Luke was watching. He's like, oh, I'm spectating you. I'm like, how's he spectating me? And then when I was done, he was playing, and I went to go spectate him. You go spectate your friends. You go right into their match and start watching them play. You can go to the top 500 and start like breaking down each of the characters and watch how better players play than you, where you think you understand, but you don't. Although this says I would like a 1v1 where you both pick a character and play around as your chosen hero. But if a third round is random character, I think that would be interesting. I do think they should put a 1v1 because, let's be honest, as comic book fans, we're always like, who would win in a fight? This or that, right? And that would be a perfect match. Just leave it in there. Sarge says, if this game goes strong, you bet your ass they'll copy a game for DC. Oh, of course. I think they're going to copy them regardless. Travis says, 30, I feel like there's every character is a EBB and flow. Like sometimes you'll be like, woo! And I rock 2 games later, I'm shot. Yeah. Well, that's just what it is. There's always going to be someone better than you, or if you're in a bot lobby that you don't know, then you go back into a regular lobby, and then you meet someone that's a better. I had a really good battle. I forget what match it was. It was, I forget if I was playing with somebody. There was a Captain America on their side, right? And every time we saw each other, it was like we pulled each other away from the battle, and we just went one-on-one Captain America. And I was just like, this is so cool. Like, I love it. I love it when it's just a 1v1. I went 1v1 against this Black Panther, and throughout the whole match is going on, and we kept going off to the side, and we kept fighting. And I think he got me 3-2. We fought each other like 5 times solo, right? And I think he outdid me 3-2. but it was so good. And then all of a sudden I got like a message. He was like, GG's, right? Because we were just having this like moment. There's a whole chaos going on, and we're just fighting in a hallway. And I thought that was cool. I was like, this is why I like this game right now. And then they had that mode, and I really like the mode. I really do like the mode. You get to go through all the portals. What if Marvel's is top-down Diablo game? That's called Ultimate Alliance. It's an Ultimate Alliance game. I would love an Ultimate Alliance. Yeah, if it was, it would be Ultimate Alliance. That's right. It's just Ultimate Alliance. Which I would love, Ron. If they brought back Ultimate Alliance, I mean, I bought a Switch. Okay, I originally bought a Switch just so I can get Ultimate Alliance. Ooh, Luke, Captain America versus Captain Hydra. Need that skin ASAP. Well, supposedly they're bringing in a what's it called? Is it the last skin from what's the last Endgame? I think they're bringing Endgame Cap skin in. I think I might have to pick him, considering I'm being a massive Cap main right now. I'm gonna try to do Thor when I unlock the skin from the new season. Oh, Thor's a good one. Thor with Cap is really good. I'm starting to understand more with the lightning ability. Do so much more damage. But now that I know how to use Cap in a much better state, it's a much better super or team up ability. Just going after a couple drinks. Has me addicted. I haven't played another game since it came out. Yeah, I've played, but I've mainly just focused on that game. I'll play like 2 hours a night, and that's what I'm playing. I tried Squirrel Girl Water. I tried her. She's just not clicking for me. I don't understand. I don't hate her, but it's just not clicking for me. I got to give it some more time. So the one thorn in my side when I'm Captain America, that I see Travis saying it, Scarlet is my favorite character. Scarlet Witch is that thorn in my side, man. I'll destroy a Hawkeye. I see a Hawkeye on the map. I laugh because I go in, I do my slam, 2-tap, uppercut, whatever, and he's done. I laugh when I see a Hawkeye. When I see a Scarlet Witch, I'm like backing up, and I'm like, nope, I'm out of there. I cannot get them down. Every time I'm about to kill her, and then flies off somewhere else, and then she goes, and I fucking hate it. I hate her. She just nickel and dimes you the entire. It just constantly happens, and I'm just like, get out of here. She is such a bitch. I like her, but when I'm playing Cap, she's such a thorn in my side. Eclipse says she's my favorite DPS. I'm very good with her. Yeah, she is awesome, but she is that rock to my scissor. You know what I mean? She is relentless. I like going up against other tanks. I like going up against, obviously, the healers and stuff. They're no match. Hold on one second. All right, let me see what you guys are saying. 30, it's so fun to win Doom matches in Thor. Thor and Punisher versus Punisher, or have my favorite one is 2 Iron Man just shooting at each other. Yeah, up in the air, you do have your own battles going on. Most of the time, a lot of people don't. If you're not shooting at the ground, most people never look up. So if there's 2 Iron Man or a Storm or an Iron Man, you guys are just battling up in the sky. It's almost like playing Battlefield. Like there's the ground troops and then there's the air, and then just air going at each other. That's what it feels like a little bit when you're playing. Obviously, if someone looks up though, then you're done. Sue Storm, she's really good at taking out Iron Man, Storm, anybody that's up in the air. She could take him out pretty quick. PS5 blows as I just downloaded it yesterday. I haven't played it. Got me trying it. I don't like hero shooters. It's fun. If you like Marvels, I mean, if you don't like to go up against other people, there is a practice mode where you can just have fun playing the characters and learning the characters. PS5, it's a good game. All right, so let's start off with. I know we're talking about Marvels. Let's talk about Marvels. Let's continue talking about Marvels, shall we? Let's continue talking about it. First conversation we'll have this morning is 5 more heroes are reportedly coming to Marvel Rivals, including Professor X. I do think Professor X, before we even get into this article, we've talked about it before. I think it would be a cool character. Sarge was here this weekend. We were talking about it, like what he could do. And we were talking about like what Mantis does, where Mantis comes behind you and like puts you to sleep type of thing. And then you were talking about how Loki can take control of you, not of you, but can take your powers and then becomes you type of thing, right? So then I was thinking, what if Professor X literally mind controls your character and you have no control over it for a couple seconds? It'd be weird. It would almost be like Frozen or whatnot. But Sarge was saying, what about if he controls you where all of a sudden you're controlled by Professor X, but like left is right, right is left, up is down. You know what I mean? Like it's just backwards type of stuff, right? Now that would be interesting where maybe you still get to do stuff, but you can't do anything, right? There's Scarlet can stun you. Mantis freezes you. Like that type of abilities. That would be really cool if he can do that, right? Where all of a sudden, maybe he like takes control of maybe he makes a circle, sort of like Jeff does, or like Moon Knight or Namor, and whoever's in the circle, all of a sudden, they like spread out away from the point, so it pulls them away because he's controlling them to do that. That could be interesting to give you guys time to push back. And maybe it nickel and dimes you, sort of like when Jeff swallows you, and it goes tick, 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 tick. Every time his ult goes off and he's in your brain, you're ticking down and you're also running away from the point, right? That'd be cool. And then get this. On your screen, when you're getting hit, your screen starts to do all this like crazy stuff because he's in your mind, right? How cool would that be, right? So that's my vision of what Professor X should do, right? His ult should be something where it's like psychedelic, where he's in your brain, your screen starts to do all this weird shit. Your character, you have no control. It just runs away from the outside point, and he's constantly just nickel and diming you, sort of like that. Be interesting. Right? Doesn't really kill you. He's more of just a straight up healer / defense person where he gives people time to regroup or whatnot. Be cool. So, following the launch of Marvel Rivals Season 1, several new heroes have been found within the game files, including Professor X. The findings of some curious of a data miner, XOX leak on X, formerly Twitter. Can we stop? I think we have to call it X now. It's getting a little weird calling it X / formerly Twitter. Who allegedly found references to 5 new heroes within the game files, and the 5 heroes potentially coming to Marvel Rivals are Professor X, which would be a support. Is it Jia Jing? I don't know who that character is. I saw a picture of her. Still don't know who it is. Okay, it's like she has some sort of like ability where she can make herself like a, I don't know if it's like diamonds or whatnot, sort of like Emma Frost does. We have Pasty Pot Pete, okay, which is a character I had to look up as well. I mean, we're talking obscure characters where he's got like a glue gun, okay, and he like shoots at people and he can use it to swing and whatnot. And I was like, okay, that's interesting. I mean, hell, whatever. Okay, Colossus obviously would be a #1 choice. Okay. I also saw another video, a video talking about Cyclops, right? They were talking about Cyclops and Colossus both coming to the game. Okay, that would be cool because there was also data mined that there was the School of for Mutants is coming to the game as a map down the road, which would be really cool, right? And then we have Locust, okay, which is another support. So we have 3 supports, 1 damage, 1 tank. Okay. It says, while currently unclear when or even if the heroes will come to the game, the findings follow Season 1 update to suggest that they're being developed as of time of writing. Whether or not they eventually come to the game or not, though, remains to be seen. Okay, other heroes, more rival heroes, have leaked. and the recent findings mean that around 15 unreleased heroes in Marvel Rivals have now been found, giving developers ample content to be released in the future seasons. Other leaked Marvel Rival heroes include, we already talked about these, right? So, like Deadpool and Captain Marvel, Emma Frost, Phoenix, Jean Grey, MODOK. I mean, you can already put in, it'd be interesting if they brought in Jean Grey, Emma Frost, right? Cyclops, and Colossus in one season. Again, I'm on the factor of, I understand season 1, and they're giving us 2 characters now, 2 characters down the line. I think they should replicate that at least, minimum. Okay, every season, like 4 characters. There's so many heroes. I think the more heroes you add, and I know a lot of people look at it and go, more heroes you add is bad. No, the more heroes you add in a game like this is great, because not everyone's going to use those heroes. And because you put so many heroes in the game, more people are going to spread out and start to find their hero that might not be used, right? So imagine that Deadpool comes in and someone that was mastering a Captain America is now mastering a Deadpool, right? Where it spreads it out. It starts to make more people play more characters, because the more heroes you bring in, the other people you have to find, because they might be that rock and you have to find the paper, right? They might be the scissors and you might have to beat the rock or whatever, right? That's what it has to be. The more people you add, the better. So, as of January 2025, 37 playable characters have been officially announced. Okay, following the launch of Marvel Rivals Season 1, the game hit 644,000 concurrent players, the highest player count the game's history, ended on December of 2024, and Marvel Rivals achieved 20 million unique players combined. So, what do you think of these characters? Now, there's characters on this list that are not, there's characters on a list that have been data mined that are not even on this list, okay? We're still missing the Ultron, we're still missing Blade, we're still missing, so we already have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and there's like another 12, so there's like 24 characters, and if they're only doing 2 a season, right? If they're only doing 2 a season, that's going to suck, because now season 2 is 2, then the next season's 2, and the next season's 2. That's only additional 6 characters for the remainder of the year after we get Johnny Storm and Thing, okay? Which would be a total of 10 characters total, maybe 11. And to me, that's 11 this year, or 10 this year, and then 10 next year. That's only 20 total. And I know that people look at that and go, well, that's a lot. Is it, though? And everyone's like, well, no other company has done this. No other game has done this. So this should be the game that does it. This is the game that should do it. Look at what Fortnite's doing with the amount of skins they're bringing in and the amount of IPs they bring in. Okay, Dragon Ball and Star Wars and Transformers and all these other ones that are bringing. That was never done before. But now it's the norm. Now you're like, oh yeah, what else are they bringing in? Okay, just because Overwatch and Apex and all these other games don't bring in a lot of heroes doesn't mean this one can't. The reason they can't bring heroes in is because they have to make their heroes from scratch. No backstory, no powers, no nothing. They have to come up with it all. Marvel has been around for 85 years. They already have the characters, what their powers are and what they do. Sure, they still have to build it from scratch, but they already have the foundation of what these characters are to work around, and they can balance it with inside the realm that they've already created with the Marvel Rivals other heroes. So it would be, look, 2 things can happen here. Add as many heroes as possible, and also add a PvE mode, and this game will dominate, and we'll talk about Marvel Rivals like Overwatch was back in 2016, 17, 18, 19, okay? If they kind of just do what Overwatch is doing, because why not, okay, then people will love Marvel Rivals, but it's a missed opportunity to not only bring in as many heroes as possible, but also not to capitalize on the back catalog of heroes that are in the Marvel universe, right? So many things, cross promotions. Like, I'll be honest, even though they're not data mined, how interesting would it be? Now, obviously, the new Captain America 4 comes out with Falcon, right? If he comes in the game, that'd be cool, right? Then the next movie comes out, they could toss them in. Fantastic Four already in the game, right? That movie comes out in the summer. It would be very interesting if they start cross promotion stuff. I was watching I think it was an IGN video, if I'm not mistaken. talking to Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane was talking about the figurines that he was creating about crossover, and they were asking him about Spawn. And he said, yeah, he's working on a Spawn show, but he doesn't want to release a Spawn show or a game until they're all ready. And what he said, when he said this, he said that I would like to do cross promotion because that's the smart thing to do, right? Like come out with the game and then also have the movie. And that's smart business. That's what Marvel should do. Marvel Rivals should do, or Marvel should do with Marvel Rivals. They should correlate new shows, new movies, and then release those characters in, and more characters that are not in those movies and stuff. These are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe. Let me know who you would like to see. Let me know what you think about Professor X and what his power should be, or any of these other characters, or what they should do. Like what can Colossus do? Obviously, he's a tank, 100% a tank. Bulletproof and whatnot. Does he get stronger? What is he? What is his powers? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. All right, let's see what you guys are saying here. Travis says, 30, look at that. Characters nobody heard of, and yet they might put him in. Like, it proves that they are fans to me, not actually care. Right, like, I don't know who Pasty Pot Pete is. Okay? Now, I think there's a video. You know what? I can go to the video that I watched. And he talks about the characters, because I saw this after the fact. Let me see. He talks about the new characters. Yeah, right here.
So somehow,
right, and I'll add his channel and stuff to the description down below. Let's watch this real fast.
how even more Marvel Rivals heroes have been leaked, and the roster just gets better because there are some heroes that are now leaked to be coming to Marvel Rivals that all of you have been asking for. And I'm not going to make you wait. I'll start with probably the best one.
100%, Luke. I mean, I've said this for years for other comic book games. If they sell you a comic, and inside that comic, let's say Cyclops comes to the game, okay? In that comic, you buy the comic. You know how there's different cells in the game, okay? You know how we're doing missions right now for we're doing missions for the event that's going on? Like, that's how it would be. You would click on the first cell of the comic. It'd be like 7 or 8 missions that you do inside the comic, and within the comic comes a really cool skin, some sprays, some emotes, tells a story of the lore of what's going on, each individual, and you sell that for $10 a piece, $15 a piece. They would make a fortune, man. They would make a fortune.
Scott Summers is coming to Marvel Rivals. That's right, Cyclops has now been leaked. So XOX Leak just posted that Scott Summers will be added to Marvel Rivals, and I assume this is based on data mines from the files. Now that the brand new season is out, of course, there's more files to data mine, and this is just the start of many more new heroes that were leaked. I think there are like 6 heroes that were leaked to be coming that we've not heard yet, so let's get into it. But first of all, Cyclops coming to the game makes
Oh, that'd be cool. Like a hard copy? That'd be cool.
Complete sense because we've already had leaks for Emma Frost and Jean Grey, specifically Jean Grey, who is obviously closely linked to Cyclops. And it's going to be interesting to now see the voice lines between Jean Grey, Cyclops, Wolverine. There's going to be some weird love triangle going on there. We already know it. But Cyclops can definitely have some pretty epic abilities. I actually made a concept of what I think his abilities should be, and
it's a cool concept. I know it's fake. That's a cool concept of him.
It kind of went along the lines of him being a damage character, which I think is the most.
I love that he does this, right? Like, he took his time, photoshopped everything, made he manifested basically what the character list was, what his abilities are, right? I respect it. I respect it.
Fitting, and then he can have abilities like movement, which allows him to shoot a ray at the ground, and that will send him in the air or send him back, basically just pushing him away from where he fires. Of course, his primary fire would be...
It'd be so cool. Just what he just showed off the cartoon, right? Shoots his beam down, backs himself up like a maneuver, right? His ultimate's that giant beam that he did back in the old day in the Capcom games.
His optic blast, some kind of focused energy
Oh, yeah, he probably did it. I don't care how he did it, Luke. I still respected that he did it.
beam. Maybe he could have two kind of fires, one continuous beam and then other short pulsers. I had an idea for another ability, like an optic boom, where he could blast nearby enemies around, causing knockback and dealing damage. And here's one for you, a ricochet blast, where he can shoot an optic blast that reflects off of enemies and surfaces, so it just bounces.
Okay, so take Cyclops' laser, but now what Cap's shield does, where it can ricochet off 3 people, or Adam Warlock's heal, where it links up multiple people. You can do the exact same thing with his laser. You can ricochet off 3 people, or he does a quick blast or whatever. There's so much you can do, man.
Bounces around, and anyone it hits, it will damage.
Just like that, yeah. Exactly like that, right? Ricochet off the stuff. That would be really cool, right?
A little bit like maybe Hanzo's old arrow from Overwatch, but obviously a little bit different.
He just said Hanzo's old arrow, but if you brought Hondo in with his arrow and the way it would shoot across the thing, that would be cool as well.
And it suits Cyclops for sure. And then I think it's pretty obvious his ultimate should be visor off, where he takes off the visor and he has an absolutely giant optic beam that just crushes anyone that he looks at. And of course you can just move it around and it'll be like a giant beam just blasting around, damaging everyone it touches. I think Cyclops is definitely going to be an amazing character. And honestly, when he does come, I think it makes sense if they add him at the same time as Phoenix. Just like with the Fantastic Four, obviously those are
It would be, God, think about it, man. If they added 4 heroes every season, 2 and 2, I would be very happy with that. I think everyone would be happy with that. Okay, and you have thematic stuff. So right now they have Fantastic Four. They have a Midtown stuff, right? They are supposedly data mined the Xavier School, right? And then you bring those characters in. I think he talks about it here as well.
are all linked characters, so it would make sense that Phoenix and Cyclops come at the same time. So I'm really hoping for them to be in the game in the near future, maybe like season 3, if not season 2. That would be awesome. But yeah, I know you guys will definitely be happy because all the comments on all of the leaked videos have all said they want Cyclops, and it's great that we finally have.
Cyclops is a must, right? He's got to be one of the most requested ones.
Have a leak to suggest it. Now, another hero that I did say I wanted in a previous video.
Yeah, theme team with a map, right? So you have Fantastic Four, you got the Midtown, you got all that stuff, and now you bring Xavier, right? You bring in Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Colossus. Boom. There's the 4.
Was Professor X. Professor X has been leaked again by XOX Leak, saying that he will be a support hero. Now that does make sense. That's again the similar idea that I had for Professor X. And I'm just going to show you this.
I love that someone made a mod. And then they took mods out. Right? The company took the mods out, and then someone figured out how to put mods back in. Look, gamers are going to game, baby. Gamers are going to game.
Because there was a mod that allowed us to put Professor X into the game and replace Jeff's model. And, I mean, it speaks for itself. This is incredible. Now, I don't know if the Professor X that joins Marvel Rivals will actually have his wheelchair, because in later series, he did actually get the ability to walk again anyway. So it'll be interesting to
Nah, you put him in the wheelchair. You put him in the wheelchair.
see how they add him. But him being a support, I think it makes the most sense that he will be someone who kind of lies low, sits back, and uses...
Luke, I don't know if they can put him in. It would be interesting if they release him at the end of the season, but think about this, right? All characters are free, so they just pick a day and they drop him on that day at the end of the season when everyone supposedly is done with the season, or do they just put him in season 2 and have the continuation of season 1 is done and we save Blade, but then Blade doesn't show up until season 2 after we save him? Or is there a mission that you complete and then it unlocks, but then who can use him? The people that unlock it? You have to get there first, because that would still be unfair. Then people can use them. There'd be a big argument of, well, why can't I get him? I gotta grind my way up to there. So I don't know if they release him in season 1. I wish they did, but I think with the story that we're seeing in the comic, I think we get him at the start of season 2. But who knows? I hope I'm wrong.
all of his mind control to support his teammates, or maybe even get in the heads of the enemies and causing maybe stun effects or things like that to the enemies without actually having to be.
All right, so emit a short-range pulse from Xavier or linked teammates. Okay, so that's his passive ability. This is all made up, by the way, right? This is not official. This is just fan-made. We're looking and reading what kind of stuff he would have. Professor X becomes linked to all teammates. Activated abilities will take effect simultaneously across all linked teammates. That would be freaking amazing, right? Cerebral link. Select a teammate to link. Professor X can use the linked player as a vessel to his abilities. That would be badass, right? Protect all linked teammates with temporary shield and healing. Access heal becomes bonus health and emits a sonic blast around linked teammates, which then stun enemies in radius. That would be cool. If this ability here, though, all Professor X becomes linked to all teammates, that's probably better than what I said, because that affects your team and not the other team. The other team would get so pissed that they can't do anything or move or whatnot. So that's actually probably a better ability.
Be near them. Maybe being able to shield his teammates, maybe as if he's shielding their mind, making them stronger, giving them damage reduction, things like that, by getting in their heads. I really don't know how they're going to make his abilities work, but I can already feel that Professor X is going to be one unique character, because he's just not like the rest. We also have another
Here's what they could do for Dracula. Are you ready? Here's what they could do for Dracula and Blade. He does come before the end of the year, and there's just an event that happens. And once that event comes out, he's just released. But you have to do the event. It's a PvE-esque content where it's your 6 guys going up against Dracula, and once you beat him, Blade happens. He comes to the game, right? In a cutscene, all of a sudden you guys are getting killed or something. You have to get the boss to a certain level, and then all of a sudden he comes in and he kills a guy, and he's here, and then he's in the game during that event. That would be cool, right? So if you're a player, you could participate in that event and then beat Dracula. And if you're not a player that plays a lot, you come in after the fact. Blade's already in the game for you, right? That'd be cool. We're all dreaming here, but that would be cool.
Damage character that was leaked, Paste Pot Pete. You guys might not know this guy. He's a bit of an obscure one, but I think he's going to be one of the funnest heroes in Marvel Rivals, because Paste Pot Pete also goes by
I don't know who this fucking guy is. I don't know who this guy is, but I do remember seeing him in a comic book.
another name, the Trapster, and he's had quite an interesting journey in the Marvel comics. Basically, he started out as a research scientist who developed a powerful adhesive, and then he went down an evil path of crime using his sticky paste.
Why aren't I running a gaming company? It's because I'm a struggling YouTuber. That's why.
Kind of shooting it out of his gun to commit crimes, rob banks.
It's a weird ability. Right? You're shooting glue out of your gun.
And he even ended up fighting the Human Torch and the Thing in the comics. So I'm sure there'll be some pretty cool interactions between Paste Pot Pete and the Fantastic Four. He was always kind of looked down upon, made fun of, because you just couldn't take this guy seriously.
I mean, if they go into that, where he's just funny, where people don't take him seriously, that'd be pretty funny.
And that's why he rebranded to the Trapster, but it looks like even in Marvel Rivals, he's still going to be called Paste Pot Pete. Now, his abilities will be interesting. He'll of course have his gun where he can shoot his sticky paste, and I assume if you get hit
paste, glue, whatever
by this, you will be slowed, and it could be pretty annoying. He'd probably also have another ability where he can shoot maybe a giant blob that will stick you to a surface so that you're stuck and can't move for a few seconds. And for movement, well, he could actually lasso objects with his glue gun. In one of the comics, he lassoed onto a plane and just flew away into the distance using his sticky paste. And a bit later on, he became part of the Frightful Four, who fought against the Fantastic Four. It's like the evil version of the Fantastic Four, and this consisted of heroes like Wizard, Sandman, Paste Pot Pete, and Medusa. so maybe they'll be added one time in the future alongside Paste Pot Pete. We don't have anything for those guys yet, but I think Paste Pot Pete...
I think this works, right? It does sound stupid for a character, but because the multiverse is happening and they're pulling people from all over the place, I think it fits. I think it could be really funny, right? I think it could be funny that no one takes him seriously, and he just kind of sells himself. He's like, no, I'm Pasty Pete, right? Like that's your super ability. You know what I mean? Like, they just don't take him seriously, right? You laugh at Jeff, people laughing at Squirrel Girl, yet these two are messing people up in this game.
Pete's going to be pretty fun, and if you've not heard of him in the Marvel Comics, let me know in the comments, because I'm actually super excited for this guy to join the game. Now onto the tank. There was a tank leaked, and it's no other than Colossus. I mean, this was a no-brainer. Colossus, along with Juggernaut, I think, are must-haves in the tank side of things, but you can already tell Colossus is going to be an absolute beast. You know, it's going to be hard to kill this guy for sure. I'm sure he'd have some kind of damage.
He would have to have some sort of ability. I mean, if you bring him in, you got to bring Juggernaut in, right? He's going to have a lot of health. But what's his ult?
Resistance, and mostly be a melee character, maybe being able to protect your team by kind of just putting himself in the way, because he'll be able to tank a lot of projectiles.
Yeah, he'll super tank, but what is his... I mean, I guess if you pop his ultimate, he's just basically Luna's Snow. Right? When she pops her thing, you can't hurt her at all. That's basically what he would do. But instead of being a healer, he would be just a tank, straight up tank.
He'll probably have an ability where he just straight up absorbs a bunch of projectiles. Yeah. A little bit like Mr. Fantastic can in Season 1. But of course, we don't have abilities leaked, but it's definitely interesting to discuss. I think he's going to be a great addition. He'll have some really cool interactions with the other.
Maybe he does a little bit more damage.
X-Men. The next hero leaked was another support, and this hero is Jia Jing. Now, I don't actually know too much about her. So after doing some research, it looks like she enrolled in Jean Grey's school for higher learning, and she is a fairy insectoid mutant. She has rocky blue skin and fairy...
Oh, it's rocky. It's not diamond. Okay.
Fairy insectoid wings, which allow her to fly. So she'd be a flying hero, and she also has...
Crowded says, I started playing Marvel Rivals over the weekend. I think I have a problem. Well, this is like an AA meeting. Welcome. Hey, Crowded. Welcome.
Has metamorphosis, so she possesses rock hard skin that she can morph as she sees fit, such as making her hands bigger, and that also means she has super strength, because after increasing the size of her hands, she appears to have an undefined level of super strength. So a flying character who can morph her hands into giant fists and just destroy anything. But the leak says she's going to be a support, so I really have no idea how it's going to be. But yeah, honestly,
I'm okay with these characters that are not... I'm okay with these characters that are not known to come to the game, as long as you bring more characters to the game. You see what I'm saying? So this could go terribly wrong. If you bring in, let's just say, obviously, if you bring in her and Pasty Pete as the two characters in the season, people are not coming back for that season. You see what I'm saying? But if you bring two other known characters and two obscure characters, then you have a deal. You see what I'm saying? Because let's just say in a world where all of a sudden Marvel Rivals starts to hit a roadblock, maybe they're not bringing out the best characters in the world, they're not known, it starts to dip, they're like, what are these obscure characters? And all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we got to close the game down. But they never brought out Gambit. They never brought out Deadpool. They never brought out Doc Ock. They never brought out, whoever. Like, wasting a spot on these obscure characters, never to see these awesome characters that we all know and love, that would make me upset. And I think a lot of people would be upset. Now, if you're bringing these obscure characters in with other characters, cool. The more the merrier. The more the merrier.
I don't actually know that much about this hero, but if Jia Jing's going to be a support hero, then I definitely can't wait till she's added to the game, because we love a support in Marvel Rivals, and it's good to see that there's definitely plenty more on the way. And finally, another support hero was leaked called Locus. Now, Locus is another one that I don't really know too much about, but if you guys do know more about certain...
She's well endowed.
And heroes, be sure to let me know in the comments, because I'd love to see any info
I don't know anything about
give me. But as for Locust powers, she has teleportation, so she has the ability to teleport herself.
So she's Nightwing? Or I'm sorry, Nightcrawler? She's got the same powers as Nightcrawler?
Of other people or other objects only to anywhere that she or they
Nightwing was DC. I misspoke.
have been before. This makes her different from other teleporters like
Dude, that would be awesome. Look at the AI and what it could do.
Nightcrawler, who can teleport himself to anywhere he can visualize. More sinister is her ability to select parts of people or objects, say a hand or head, and teleport them away, leaving the rest.
Nightcrawler, I can already see his ability. Are you ready for this? His ability is to save people from other people's abilities. You see what I'm saying? Nightcrawler's ult is to save other people ult from other people's ult. So like Moon Knight is about to rain down on people. Nightcrawler does his ultimate ability and just removes everybody from that space. Which doesn't sound like a big thing, but it is when you're pushing a point, all of a sudden you get wiped, and that could be the end of the thing. He comes in and completely just removes everybody from there. That would be cool.
Rest behind. She could teleport parts of someone else's body, which will obviously kill them. Imagine if they
He's a complete different type of save, right?
had that as an ability in Marvel Rivals. I mean, she's going to be a support, so maybe she will be kind of like
He doesn't heal you. He just saves your ass.
Nightcrawler, where she'd be able to grab your teammates and teleport them away to safety. That would be
Yeah, that would be cool.
pretty cool. Apparently, she also has energy blast, so maybe she can shoot these, and she has the ability to levitate. And also, given all of these heroes that are leaked, it's no surprise that the X Mansion is going to be coming as a map. So
That's going to be amazing. That's going to be amazing. The X Mansion is coming as a map. That's going to be amazing. It's going to be so good.
it makes sense that the X Mansion map will most likely be added at the same time as we see Cyclops and Jean Grey and
Look, dude, this AI
be added at the same
I
time.
love the artwork
as
that
we
he's
see
doing. I don't know if he's making him or someone else is making him. He's using someone else's work, or if he's
Cyclops
doing it.
and
But I love just the art style that he's created with these characters for these character screens. That Jean Grey looks amazing.
Jean Grey and Emma Frost.
Emma Frost looks a little bit masculine in the face, but she looks great as well.
And Professor X, and I can just tell whichever season these start dropping in is going to be an amazing season, because all these X-Men characters are the characters people are dying for, and an X-Mansion map, it's just going to be so awesome. So yeah, that is all the leaks so far. It's been a pretty crazy last few minutes as these started dropping. I wasn't expecting this much, but we're in a new
Ultron, this is why I said that this game needs to add a PvE mode, okay? Because a person that doesn't want to play a team hero shooter, but if they created the comic book thing that I've been talking about for not just this game, for every other comic book game that's come out, if you add where you could pay $10 to get missions or things to do, and you just want to play Cyclops, or you just want to play Wolverine, or you just want to play, okay, you would come into the ecosystem of the game, right? You would play that character, you would level up that character, you play that comic book story of that character, and then you maybe dabble in the multiplayer aspect of it, okay? But just doing multiplayer, I think, is this game is, if I want to do a quick match, if I want to do tournament, if I want to do the Doom every man for themselves, if I want to do a capture the flag, if I want to go PvE, the more the merrier, okay? They're already kind of skewing stuff because they're putting bots inside the game and kind of hiding them, okay, during quick matches. So if they're doing that and filling it up to make it feel like it's filled, then put PvE in, because everyone's like, well, it would separate the PvE from the multiplayer. Sure, but if there's already people playing against bots and they don't know it, then what's the problem? Right? What's the problem?
new season, so it makes sense. And if we get more info, which I'm going to assume we're going to get even more information pretty soon, so I'll be dropping the videos as soon as we get more updates on any new leaks. But for now, let me know what you think of these leaked heroes. Are you happy?
Yeah, my son's playing up against practice, right? He also plays in quick matches with me. Okay? it's just more options for people that want to play because they just want to play the game. They just want to play the characters. They don't want to sweat. They don't want to play against other people. They don't want to play with other people. They just want to play their character and have fun with it. And if you add a comic book with stories and whatnot, it'd be so much better for them, the company, to make so much more money by making those comics with 8 missions, 9 missions, or whatever it is. All right. So let's go from that to another story about Marvel Rivals. Which is Marvel Rivals has earned an estimated $130 million in the first month. Okay. So after just 1 month, the hit free-to-play game Marvel Rivals is already proving that the free-to-game model is extremely profitable for developers. The third-person hero shooter was released just a little over a month ago on December 6, 2024. It was quickly gained a large devoted player base. Live service games and concept of in-game microtransactions have become more common over the recent years. It seems that Marvel Rivals has managed to circumvent much of the negativity of these models, can also often carry out to become something players are happy to spend on. As reported, an article by 80 Level, current estimated, of Marvel Rivals has earned around $136 million in just 1 month, and is on track to become one of the biggest live service games available. Over the weeks since it launched, the number of players has continued to grow rather than dropping off as many gamers do after the initial hype of the past. Even after facing difficulties of the crashes and server disconnects, players keep coming back to his team-based PvP title, happily offer up some money to make the experience even better with fresh cosmetics. Was there difficulties with crashes and server disconnects? I didn't have any. I don't remember a lot of people talking about that. Now, I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying, did any of you guys have problems? I never had any issues with this game at all. At all. Okay? It says a new report that shows that Marvel Rivals is really ranking in the depth. Okay? It says in the article, on 80 Level, the number are broke down to show the Marvel Rivals has brought around 54.5 million on Steam, 27.3 million on PlayStation, and 2.7 million on Xbox, plus more than from the Chinese server operated and NetEase, a total roughly of 136 million. As a free-to-play game, all revenue comes from players purchasing cosmetics, either though through the game, in-game store, or the seasonal pass or battle pass, which offers a variety of rewards for playing. These days, most of the games seem to offer battle pass systems, which also can give mixed results from players. Marvel Rivals has streamlined its process of their battle pass and made it so that all the heroes are available for all players without the need to purchase anything. These changes, plus the original quality of the game's experience, have led to players being more willing to give the money here than the more cosmetics they want. It says, our take, fans seem to love the battle pass and the costumes in Marvel Rivals. In a Reddit thread, it says that fans in the game discussed how many of them didn't expect to spend any money on the game, but were also swayed by the quality of the cosmetics offered in the battle pass and desire to support the game overall. Several commentaries mentioned that they also have had so many hours worth of fun in Marvel Rivals that they felt good about spending $5 on it. Sure, right? And that's the way I play, right? I'm gonna pay for the battle pass because I'm putting the amount of time in. Okay. I feel like if you're enjoying yourself, then you should give them something, right? If you put 10 hours in, or if you put 20 hours in, if you put 100 hours in, you should give them something, okay? If it's the $5 for the battle pass or $10 for the battle pass, if it's for one skin or whatnot, they just gave you 20 hours of your time to enjoy. You should reward that in some way, shape, or form. But that's just me, okay? I don't go around the grocery store eating all the grapes and fruit before I get to the register and then not pay for the grapes. You know what I mean? So one comment says it summed up the general consensus that, well, the players also don't usually buy battle passes but felt good about the purchase here. Okay. The successful results of Marvel Rivals is showing it could be a literal game changer for the future of live service titles if things continue the way that they seem to be headed. Players have been happier and able to enjoy the game with their teams, and developers are turning profit and giving a perfect win-win for PvP title. Only time will tell if Marvel Rivals continues to do as well. I have a feeling, because the director said that they've loaded this first season up, right? They doubled what they were doing. They put more maps. They put more cosmetics. They put more characters. And I'll tell you what, sorry, director. We listened to Timothy Kane last week talking about constructive criticism. Let me give you some constructive criticism right now, okay? if you want to continue your success and not have the player base turn on you, then you better at minimum put 4 heroes in a season. You better have 10 outfits in the next season pass to give to people, okay, with their $10 or whatever they're doing to grind the game to get those and earn those cosmetics. You've set the standard. Now stay with it, okay? If you take your foot off the gas, I'm not asking for more. Like, I'm not asking because you put 4 in this season, you got to put 6 in the next season. Because you put 3 maps in this season, you got to put 4 or 5 in the next season. No. You've set the standard at the beginning. Regardless of you coming out and saying, well, we front-loaded it, you have now established that you've put yourself above all the other games, hero shooters out there, and this is the standard. Instead of bringing yourself down to those standards of Overwatch, bring them up to your standard. Do a Baldur's Gate 3, okay? Don't be the reporters that say, well, don't expect that, like Baldur's Gate 3, the quality of Baldur's Gate 3 for future. No, that was the standard. Baldur's Gate 3 wasn't something that was beyond fantastic because it was the oddball out. No, it was what games used to be. They set the standard again. This should be the standard. Competition against Overwatch, competition against all the other servers or services out there. This should be the standard. Multiple heroes, especially for a comic book game. Multiple maps to bring people in, okay? And then the creme de la creme. Put the little PvE content out there, and you will destroy everybody else because they would have to come up to your standards. You want to make the money? You got to work hard to do it. And now I think you've done it, NetEase. And people were surprised. They're like, I don't know, NetEase is going to charge us nickel and dime us for everything. You've set a brand new standard. Don't diminish the standard. Stay with it, and you'll succeed. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and if you like what I do here, check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Right? The $136 million they made for the first month, sure. Could that happen every single month? Sure. But if they start, well, Season 2 only has 2 characters. Season 2 only has 1 map. Be like, oh. And then they're going to be like, well, now there's people dropping because there's not as excited. Okay? This is where you have to push, right? You're in the honeymoon phase right now. You need to push through that. You need to make this the standard. Eclipse says it's crazy how it went up almost 200,000 for the new season. You've had 2 crashes? I mean, I'm going to knock on some wood right now. I've had 0 crashes. 0 crashes. El Dente says, my game used to crash whenever Doctor Strange used the portal. It was a graphic card issue. Oh, well, okay. That's just immersive, El Dente. He was opening up a portal, and it just crashed the multiverse. I mean, that's really... That's hardcore fanism right there. They're like, what would happen if Doctor Strange opened a portal? Well, the whole time continuum would just delete itself. There you go. Altered says, my only issue with the Battle Pass is that if you don't buy it, you are not able to go back. And I'm not able to buy Season 0 Battle Pass. That's the only complaint that's ever expired. I get that, right? But if you know you're going to play, you can spend the $10 and then take your time with it, right? But you're paying the $10. And right now you have 90 days to decide if you want to buy the Battle Pass. If you buy the Battle Pass, then you have unlimited time by spending $10. Right? You don't have to buy every Battle Pass. So if this Battle Pass intrigues you, then you buy it for $10, and that'll be the only $10 you spend. And then next year, you're like, oh, you know what? I haven't bought a season pass since the first one. I just completed it 8 months later. You know? Dolphin says you don't fist the grapes and accidentally forget your wallet. No, don't do that. Argus says most games in honeymoon phase don't last this long. I don't know. This year, I think, or I should say last year, proved a little different, right? Honeymoon stage for Helldivers. It grew until Sony put their face in there to sign in. Power World's honeymoon phase succeeded. Let's see what else. There was another game that the honeymoon phase, Black Myth Wukong. right? There's a lot of games last year that went through the honeymoon phase and got more people playing it the longer it was out. It's only been 1 month, Jones. It's only been 1 month. Crowd says there's almost three-fourths of the million players at all too. What do you mean? 3/4 of a million? Oh, yeah, 644. That's just on Steam. That was just on Steam. Ron Slusher says Skull and Bones is still in its honeymoon phase. That's not a honeymoon anymore, Ron. That's a bad relationship. Yeah, the battle pass is $10, and if you buy it now, you have forever to complete it. So I get what you're saying, Altern, but it's just $10, and your $10 investment, if you like the game, you can go back and complete it. You don't have to complete it now. Like I said, if you're a person that only plays like a half hour a day, and I think you have to log in. I think you got to log in like 29 days, 30 days, and complete everything that you have to do throughout the week, or daily, weekly, and whatnot, and you will have enough. You'll have enough to play. So if you bought the battle pass and it took you where it takes a normal person, or I shouldn't say a 1% person, 30 days, and they unlock the whole battle pass in 30 days, and it takes you 8 months, that $10 is still worth it. I would think. Crowded House says they should add Bonesaw. These Marvels, right? Is it Bonesaw or Crossbones? Is what you're thinking of? You thinking of Crossbone? Bonesaw. Eclipse says, I mean, if you cared to spend $5 on it, apparently you didn't care. You didn't care enough. Dolphin says the fact that you can kick people in quick play for Helldivers is so bogus. Downloaded it again this weekend and got kicked after a long game. You got kicked out of Helldivers? What, because you didn't have like the Galahorn like in Destiny? They're like, this guy doesn't have the right rocket launcher. He's done. Yeah, that's pretty shitty. Talk about gatekeeping, huh? Did you just join a regular, like, normal match? Ron Slusher says, with the success of Marvel Rivals, will we see a surge again in live service hero shooters again? No, I honestly don't think we will. I think Marvel Rivals is like this perfect timing. Just perfect. Yeah, just perfect time. And what it is, right? I don't think if you come out with, like, I don't think if Concord, Ron, came out next month for the first time ever, it would succeed. I think what Marvel's is, the brand, the characters, the years it's been around, plus what it is and what they're doing, it's just all working. It just all comes together. If someone else tries this with a brand new IP, I don't think it takes off. I know there's no proof in any way what I'm saying. I just feel that because of what Marvel's put in the time. We talked about this last week. How many Marvel games came out and failed before this one succeeded? And this one, we can't even say succeeded yet, right? Sure, it got 136 million in 1 month, but it's only been out for 1 month, right? Fantastic. If this was a game that came out and made 136 million sales and it, cost what it cost, people would be like, nah, it didn't make it. But it's 136 million out of a free-to-play game, and they have time over the lifespan of it to make its money back. I just don't think it's Bonesaw's Macho Man from Spider-Man. Oh, okay. I mean, I'll be honest, Crowded. I don't think anything's out of the ballpark if you're bringing pace Pasty Pete in. You know what I was thinking? I was thinking more about the new players. Imagine someone that just got to play the game December of this year. The new player will browse into the battle pass and likes an old one. That's just shit out of luck then, I guess, right? I know it sounds bad, but it's like if you weren't playing a game, you're going to miss out on that, right? That's the people that get rewarded for playing the game early or enjoying the game day one instead of enjoying the game 3 months later. I mean, there's plenty of stuff. There's people right now that are missing stuff from Twitch drops that don't have a Twitch account. You know what I mean? And they don't have the Magneto skin or they don't have the spray. And they'll never be able to get that. Silver says, so wait, Battle Pass don't time out. When a new season starts, I can still access the progress in previous ones if you bought it. If you bought the last Battle Pass, it never expires. You can always, if you played Helldivers, Silver, you could take the chronos that you're earning for this season and you could spend it on the last one, or you could buy chronos and then spend it on whichever one you want, right? As long as you buy it. New missions are out for the event. I'll have to do it after stream. Crowd says the biggest hurdle for the game like this is overcome is to pull people away from their dedicated games like Overwatch, and they're actually doing it. Kind of crazy, right? But the reason they're doing it, House, I think, right? Again, I'll say it. If this was Concord, let's take Concord away from what happened to Concord, and Concord was here. Concord's not pulling people from Overwatch. They're not, because they're brand new characters that no one gives a shit about. That's the reality of it, right? Doesn't matter how cool the game was. It'd be really hard to sell other people to leave the game that they love to move over to a brand new game that nobody cares about or characters they don't care about. Marvel is in this weird space because it's been around for 80 years. People know the comics, the movies. They know the characters. That's what's intriguing about this game, that people want to come in and they want to play Spider-Man, or they want to play Captain America, or they want to play Magneto. Argus says no new IP game would have had the same success right now Marvel Rivals is current market. No, I believe that 100%. There's no way other games would have the success that they're having because it's the IP. The IP is very massive. But again, the Marvel IP also bombed multiple times. Guardians of the Galaxy was a fantastic game, but it didn't do well. Midnight Suns, fantastic game, didn't do well. Marvel's Avengers, the actual storyline of the game, good game. Terrible live service game. Okay? And I put 1,100 hours into that game. Okay? And it didn't succeed. Love it, bought it for season 0, but didn't get around to finishing it. Yeah, so if you have the season, you can go back, earn the chronos that you have this season, and then toss it to the last season if you wanted to, if you're looking to get something from there. Obviously, I would suggest you do it because you spent the $10, so get the skins and whatnot. Argus says this game is the one game that actually is a killer of a game that people said it is. It is the one and only. Yes, Marvel has the pedigree and will always have the upper hand, in my opinion. Agreed. I don't know. I think if you had the same heroes but all looked like Marvel's Avengers heroes did, this game would have gone Concord just as fast. So you're saying, all right, let me read that again. So you're saying, I think if the game had the same heroes but all looked like Marvel's Avengers, yes. So this is why I'm saying it's all about what Marvel Rivals is doing. Everything about it. It's a comic book game. It's Marvel's. It looks cool, right? If this game looked like Marvel, or looked like Marvel's Avengers, 100% Silver, I don't think it would be as well. Okay, but then again, take the same thing what you're saying right now. If Marvel's Avengers looked like Marvel Rivals, we would still be playing Marvel's Avengers. Because people will look past the bad because of what the good is. If I had 33 characters to play or 37 characters to play in Marvel's Avengers and it looked like this, okay, the problem with Marvel's Avengers was it was a live service game that was baked in that wasn't fully cooked. Okay? This is a fully cooked Overwatch clone, but with Marvels. How many games have been said that they are also going to be the killer of the mainstream game, and they actually killed the game? Basically, only Marvel Rivals. Well, not yet. You can't. It's too early yet, Argus, but you're right. Every time someone has given the label to something that said, this is a COD killer, this is a Destiny killer, this is a whatever killer, they always say that. It never happens. But this game is literally killing Overwatch. But at the same time, let's slow your roll. It's only been a month. I'm not saying it's not happening, but for this first month, yeah, Overwatch is dying drastically. What time is it? 11:17? All right. All right, so let's move on from Marvel Rivals. And let's go to the PC gaming talk here for PC Game Pass. We'll talk a little bit more about Marvel. Let me see what you guys are saying. The Path of Exile is going to do it. Oh, Path of Exile is going to murder Diablo. It's already murdering Diablo. And it's definitely going to do it when the game fully releases, for sure. Well, I'll be honest, right? I kind of wish I didn't buy Path of Exile 2. I don't regret it. But I paid $30 for Path of Exile. I have 2 characters. I have a character up at level 22. I have another character at level 12. I put in quite a few hours, but I haven't touched it. Because I'm addicted to Marvel Rivals. I could have waited until it was free to play and picked it up later. Kyle says Blizzard got Rivals taking away players from Overwatch and Path of Exile 2 taking away from Diablo. Yeah, they're getting hit from all sides. Yeah, see, I started playing Marvel Rivals, and then I was like, you know what? I'll pick up Path of Exile. And I was bouncing between those two, and then I was just like, you know, this will be here, and I'll play it. I love Path of Exile too, but I'm having a blast of a time in Marvel Rivals. Yeah, by Eclipse, I could have gave them $30 later. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I liked the game, I could have paid $30 to get the skins, which basically I did now anyway, right? They gave me the amount of currency to get storage or whatnot. Again, if I'm enjoying myself with the game, I will give them money if it's a free to play game. All right. Go to the next topic. Next topic is PC Game Pass added 137 games worth $4,800 in 2024. Okay. So this is mind-blowing to me, okay? Because on PC Game Pass, I believe PC Game Pass is $10? $12 for the year or for the month, right? So you're spending $144, right? $144 and you're getting $4,000, almost $5,000 worth of games, okay? And if you're a person that's just on PC, you don't own a console, well, you're getting these games. That's a huge savings. So much so that you could save up what you would spend on a game and go buy yourself a better computer. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like $12, right? Just for his PC Game Pass. That's not including the Ultimate Game Pass. It's just PC Game Pass. Okay. Yeah, I've tried Mr. Fantastic. I like him, but I don't love him yet. All right, so PC Game Pass added 137 games worth $4,800 in 2024. Our number crunching shows that PC Game Pass saw 137 games added to the library of last year, with 37 of them being day one release. That value alone is ridiculous, right? So no matter your personal opinions on gaming subscription services, there's no escaping the fact that Game Pass represents some of the pretty amazing value. While there's no guarantee that any of your favorite games is in the library or will hang around forever, you're still getting access to heaps of titles, day one editions, and extra bonuses and perks depending on which of your tier you're on. See exactly last year's lineup of new Game Pass games stacked up, and I've crunched the numbers, and everything added to PC Game Pass in 2024, which was a collection of 137 games with the value just over $4,800. Having had my head buried in all of these years of Game Pass announcements, posting spreadsheets for most of the week, I've collated all the new Game Pass games and PC players have accessed last year, and we will also take on the U.S. Microsoft Store price at each time the game was added to PC Game Pass, and the total value of 2024 was $4,812.63. So I'm afraid I couldn't find the time to do the exact storefront totals for other currencies, but converting that amount into today's exchange rates will give you the figures around this. Okay. However, you got to also factor in the cost of the subscription. This isn't the exact science, as the monthly prices were changed in the middle of last year, and the new subscriber can often bag a few weeks for just $1. But if you were to take the current cost of PC Game Pass, which is $11.99 per month, which works out to $143 a year, and then subtract it from the figure above, that's a net value of $4,668.75. Okay. Below, you can find a breakdown of each month's PC Game Pass offering. Okay. So every month, games added, 13 games were added. Okay. Day one releases 3 in January for a total of $462. February added 15 games with 1 released that month. Okay. March had 12 with 2 day one releases. April, 17 games, 5 day one releases. May, 13th, 4 day one releases. June, 14 games were added. 1 was day one release. July, 12 games were added. 5 games, day one release. August, 5 games were, 2 of them were day one release. September, 12 games added, 6 day one release. October 9th had 9 games with 2 day one releases. November had 9 with 4 day one releases, and December had 6 with 2. Right? It's insane. So of course these figures are illustrative of us also illustrative of total value added to PC Game Pass of 2024 is also no way indicative of the value gave you personally. There's no way of doing it and reading this and have to play all the games introduced into the service. But it does paint a picture. First of all, if you're just a PC gamer and you have PC Game Pass, okay, you have way more games than you've ever are going to play in your entire, I don't know, multiple lives, okay? 100. The average person, okay, plays 4 to 5. I think it's less than that. I think it's 3 to 4 games a year. I was going to say 4 to 6, okay, that you might buy full price, play the game, beat it, and put it down, okay? Average. Okay, all in all, 137 games were added to PC Game Pass subscribers. A total of a little higher of those subbed to Game Pass Ultimate were to have access to some titles that can only be played on console via the cloud gaming, such as NBA 2K24. Of these 137, an impressive 37 were day one releases. Okay, so if you only bought, let's just go with my number of 6 games a year. Okay, 37 were day one releases. Right? You have 5 years of content if you just had those 37 games. Okay. Some of those were big first-party titles from Microsoft roster of studios, such as Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Indiana Jones, The Great Circle, Hellblade 2. The majority, though, were third-party games such as Manor Lords, Pal World, Dungeons of Hitburg, and Frostpunk 2. With the remaining 100, there were plenty of other big names added to Game Pass. Diablo 4 stands out, particular highlight, alongside Sifu, Hunt Showdown 1896, Modern Warfare 3, Ark Survival Ascent, and Lords of the Fallen. Okay, I'm well aware that I've also focused here on what was added to Game Pass this year. Of course, plenty have also been booted off as well. Yeah, but obviously you don't talk about the ones that are booted off because they're not on when you're doing your study. Now, again, you're not owning these games. You're just playing these games. So there's games coming in and out all the time. So they might add 13 games, but they also might take 10 away that month. Okay. So, of course, plenty of them were booted off as well. While a lot of the removals in 2024 were either outdated games or games making their way back to their sequels, annual sports titles are a big contributor to this. There's also some of the subscribers also particularly pained to see leave, like Hitman Trilogy Collection, Valheim. Valheim left? I didn't know that. Payday 3 and Forza Horizon 4 all departed last year. It's not impossible for them to return in the future, though. I've seen plenty of games that re-added after leaving Game Pass in the past. Okay, in 2024, looked good, and 2025 is arguably looking even better. Already the likes of Doom, The Dark Ages, Fable, Avowed, FBC, Firebreaker, Atomfall, South of Midnight, already locked in as day one editions, and that will battle for places on the best Game Pass games list. Okay, just that alone, right? You got Doom, Fable, Avowed, FBC, or Firebreaker, Atomfall, and South to Midnight. If the average person only gets 4 to 6 games a year, you're good. You're good. Okay. If PC Game Pass isn't the right thing for you, you can also still games with your guide of the best free PC games. You can also follow the Google News and daily PC Games news and reviews. So there you go. So that's insane, the amount of value that they have. And I know a lot of people are like, well, Xbox guys don't buy games. Well, PC guys do, and they do buy games. But at the same time, for $12 a month, for someone to be like, oh, you're broke or whatever, like, you're smart. You're spending $12 and getting, you're spending $144 for the year, okay? And you're getting $4,000 worth of games, where they're buying for $144. They can maybe get 2 games at full price, right? 2 games at the $70 price tag, and that's what most people are getting. So who's the idiot? Who's the idiot? The person spending $12 a month to get access to 137 games for the price value of $4,800, or the guy who's spending $70 per game and then puts the games down that might finish them? But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think of PC Game Pass? Are you a person that doesn't have a console? Maybe you do have consoles, but you're playing mostly on PC. Let me know in the comment section down below. Let me know in the live chat. Please make sure you share, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Yeah, but even if 9 out of 10 people are paying them $20 a month, Dolphin, they're still have a much better value, right? Because even at the $20 a month, that's $240 a year. What is that, 4 games? Right? 70? Yeah, because 7 times 4 is 28. Right? So that you're still making out like a bandit. Now, let me scroll back up here. Are the PC Game Pass games that aren't available on Xbox? There's some that are just on PC and Xbox. There's other ones that are you have to play on console. Yeah, some games are available on PC Game Pass that aren't available on Xbox console. Luke says 3 to 5 for me. For an average gamer, Game Pass is more than enough for the entire year's offering. Yeah, for sure. Like, think about that. If you went to go buy all those games, $4,800, that's, you could buy a hell of a rig for $4,800. Forza Horizon 4 will definitely not return. It's not even on the Xbox store. Oh, yeah, well, Horizon 4 is done because Horizon 5 is there, right? They got to make room, and the reason people would move over, but they also said if you could buy it before it took it off offline, and you would get all the stuff, right? You could still play it offline, but you had to buy it before they delisted it. I think they offered it to me for $1. At one point, when Forza Horizon 4 was leaving Xbox, they're like, you can pick it up for $1 right now. And I was like, okay. Okay. Argus says, even if Xbox doesn't want you to buy the games, they want us to use the Game Pass. While they even had a bad thing, people are trying to compare Xbox business strategy to other platform strategies that are completely different. The reason Game Pass works is because not only are they doing Game Pass, but they're putting their games everywhere as well. That's why it works. The Game Pass itself wouldn't work because there's not enough people subscribe to it yet, right? So it basically subsidizes what their vision is, right? So if they only have 35 or 40 million people have Game Pass, what's making up for that is the people that are buying the other games on PlayStation, or buying the games over on Nintendo, or buying the games on PC. Mr. Luke says, my Game Pass runs out in 8 days. I'm going to go down to the core to see what I get. You don't get much. You don't get much. They definitely make the problem sell the solution type of thing. Argus says that's 4 $60 games in a year. If you're getting it, the $7 games, you're only buying 3 games outside of Game Pass yearly price. Oh, my son loves Game Pass. Loves it. It's completely under, like, worth it. Totally worth it. You can get more $3, $70 games worth of full price releases on Game Pass in a year. Will always provide more value than not having the Game Pass. Right. Is it a licensing issue? You talk about for Forza 4? Is it for the cars? Is that what it is? It was delisted due to Forza Horizon 5? No, it was delisted because they want you to move over to other games. But Lucas is probably saying because of the licensing of the cars. So there's probably license of the cars that they had for Forza Horizon 4. Let's say that's 10 years, 7 years, or whatever it was. And now they're at the point. So if they keep it where people buy, then they have to renew the license. Well, if they don't want to renew the license, they have to remove the game. This is why Transformers is off the list. This is why a lot of games in the past that I like of the Transformer games are delisted, or the Marvel games, they're delisted. They would have to pay for the licensing again to put those games back on the store. And because Horizon 5 is there and Motorsports is there, I don't see Microsoft paying for the license for cars that they already have in the new game, also with the old game. See what I'm saying? Arca says they put the games elsewhere, so the fact that they have both methods or offering isn't an issue. But the narrative is always get Game Pass is ruining game sales, but they ain't ruining revenue. Right. Cora's just paying for the play online with a few games every month. Luke says, I don't pay for anything games on Game Pass. I don't pay anything. Play anything on games on Game Pass is more for my son. If I can play what he likes on Core, I'll keep that. My son plays so many different games. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'll be honest. If they raise the price again, it would still be worth it. Still be worth it. He says you're about to summon Cthulhu. Yeah, Mo was already here earlier. You can get the game on Game Pass and upgrade that to a $100 deluxe edition for $30. He says, as someone who spent years renting so many games from Hollywood Video and Blockbuster Game Pass and PlayStation Plus saves me so much, even with the purchase on Steam. Roic says there is some cars on Horizon 5 because they couldn't get the license for them. Right, but what I'm saying is the bleed over. If they keep 4 out there, they got to pay for all the licenses again for that game plus this game, right? And they're like, most of the cars that are in this game are in this game now, and if the ones that aren't, they're like, all right, well, we're getting rid of this. We don't want to pay the license, but if you want to buy the game, you could buy the game for a discounted price, and you could still play the game. It's not like you can't play Forza 4. You just can't play it on Game Pass. They removed it, and they delisted it because they don't want anyone else buying it now. Because if you could buy it, then they would have to renew the license. Yeah, exactly. Well, same thing will happen to 5 down the road once their contract ends. That's why they make a Forza Horizon 6, and so on and so forth. Eclipse says, yeah, this is why the crew did what they did. They just didn't let you play it anymore, unlike Forza 4. Argon says, the sales of the games that come to the Game Pass are irrelevant, and the metric then is measured by the money that the game makes, not the copies sold. Right. Well, the Game Pass is all each their own, right? But it would be like if they released one game in that month for Game Pass and Game Pass sales went up, that would be, they would look at it and say, oh, well, these people, like Starfield. When Starfield came out, more people got Game Pass, so Starfield was successful. They know that Starfield had this many people, 2 million, 5 million, 7 million, whatever it was, got Game Pass just to play Starfield. And if they stop playing it after that first month, it doesn't matter because they got $15. They got $20, right? They got 10 million people to give them $20. So they know what the metric is, why they came in for that game. Now, if it's a third-party game, they gotta pay them out ahead of time, be like, hey, we'll give you this much money. And then they get paid maybe a bonus on the back end on how many people play it or download it. You know, they have to keep track of something. As Microsoft released the recent sub numbers, I know last year it was 35 million. They didn't release the numbers yet, but I did see an article somewhere along the line that said subscription services were up 12%, which we read last week for the UK in sub services. 12% would only be like an additional, what, 4 million? So maybe it's at 39, 40 million? Maybe. But we'll see. It's just going to get bigger and bigger as it goes because more people are going to adapt to it. More people are just going to be conditioned to it. Yeah, but Silver, I'm pretty sure you can still play Forza 4. They just delisted it so no one can buy it. Right? You might be able to go to like GameStop and pick up a hard copy of Forza 4 if you have a disc drive in your your Xbox, and you could play it. Well, me saying that is that the narrative that the game came out in the Game Pass, and this is only the amount of copies sold. They're killing game sales. No, that's the narrative that people want to run with. Those players in Microsoft already, the copies sold don't matter. The case for the specific game, just in total money the specific game makes. Right. So if it's a third-party game, they give them money up front, and then they make the money off the back end off of that, right? So the person that makes that game, if it's successful or not, they made half to 3/4 of their money, if not full, for the independent game that's on Xbox. And they're making more money off the sales off of PC and PlayStation. But they put it on Game Pass. They make money up front for the third-party games. If it's a first-party game, they're eating that cost because they want the people, like, they paid for Starfield, and Starfield is theirs, and they just put it on Game Pass, and they sold it everywhere else, right? They're eating that cost. Dustin says, no, they stopped selling Forza Horizon 4 at GameStop physical. Did they? So there's nowhere I can go right now to pick it up? I can't buy it off of Facebook Marketplace. I can't buy it off of any mom and pop shop, small. Can't do it. Impossible. I mean, I can buy it on Amazon right now. Xbox, $50. How are they going to stop me? You know what I mean? If there's a will, there's a way. If you want Forza Horizon 4, plenty of places to go find it. If it's on Amazon, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, local shop, they're not going to stop you from buying the game because it still works inside your system. I mean, I literally bought Transformers War of Cybertron, okay, where someone was charging $280. I found it for $40 in a small little mom and pop shop, and we played it on stream, and it's delisted. You can't buy it. Let me see if I can find. Go to GameStop real fast. Yeah, GameStop right now, $29.99. They have one in my store. They have one right in my store. I can go pick it up right now. Let's see. As a consumer and customer, it's not my responsibility if they make enough money or if it's sustainable. It wouldn't be my responsibility. They sell a product, I buy it. That's it. That's your responsibility. You like something, you buy it. I don't care if they stay in business or go out of business. Something goes out of business. Actually, a restaurant went out of business. I was like, oh, man, that's a shame. But then I thought about it. I was like, when's the last time I was there? We used to eat there a lot, but then we stopped eating there, right? Didn't make it. Now you can play it on the system. Who knows? Well, they moved day one to Game Pass Ultimate. Yeah, but PC Game Pass is still $12. And day one is still $12 for them on PC, for just PC Game Pass. Day one Ultimate for them is just for PC. Right. It's $12 on PC. PC Game Pass is where Microsoft is actually growing. I'm talking console. Yeah, but we're talking PC Game Pass. The story was PC Game Pass. I'm not sure if Yakuza Pirates coming day one on Game Pass. I think it was set for Game Pass. I don't know if it's coming to Game Pass. Let me look it up. I'm not sure. When does that come out? That's January, February. I'm looking. Pirates. Let me see. Official website. Oh, that's on Steam though. Let's see. It's on February 20th, but does it come out on Game Pass? I don't. Tag me in Discord. About the power washer thing. That's for VR. Yeah, the VR washer. Yeah, it's not successful enough. Not enough people want to play VR power washer. VR is a hard place to be, man. VR is a hard place to be. Oh, let me add what's his name? The description down below because I forgot to add the video that we watched earlier. I forgot to add all of the stuff this morning. Jesus, what the hell am I doing? Give me 1 second, chat. I'm over here sleeping. I didn't add any of the stories this morning. Yeah, we're gonna watch this one next. This is the CES one. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. Yeah, it's okay about the Power Watch Simulator. The mainline games aren't dropping day one. But it is coming to Game Pass, is it not? I could have sworn it was coming to Game Pass. Did we look it up and see? I got sidetracked there. Was it Pirates? Yakuza? It's on Xbox, but I don't think it's coming to Game Pass right away. Hundreds of other high-quality games for one low monthly price on Game Pass. Like a Dragon is on there, but I don't think the new one's going to be on it. Yeah, it'll come to Game Pass probably down the line, but just not day one. Argus says, ponies and journalists are for sure, yeah, especially one of the gathering them and thinking that you know who I mean. Oh, are you guys talking about, let's see, you can really call anything on Game Pass a flop unless the company says so. Right. Starfield is not successful, even though it was successful. But because they don't have the sales numbers, but we don't have sales numbers for anything. You know what I mean? It's what we think is successful or not successful. But until they actually tell us the numbers, right? The journals were saying Dragon Age was successful, right? Which is the opposite of when we say, oh, this game's successful, and they tell you, well, it's not successful, but then it is successful. When they tell you a game is successful, the persona of it is successful, but Dragon Age was not successful, right? All right. Let's go with, because it's 11:45. Watch this. Last week, we watched CES Days 1 and 2 from, I think it was Max Tech is who we watched. It's over now, right? So CES is done. These are 20 best things this particular channel's smart home solver saw at the Vegas CES 2025. So let's watch this and see what cool tech was at CES this year. Let me just make sure I have. Yeah, here we go.
Hey, what's up? I made it to CES 2025, and there is so much amazing tech that I can't wait to show you.
Can I just say this?
I made it to
robot
CES
right here.
2025, and there is so much.
Why do I need my vacuum cleaner to have an arm come out of it and pick up a sock? Like, you just pick up the stuff before you hit the vacuum. Saying.
Such amazing tech that I can't wait to show you. We have a lot to see, so sit back, relax, and let's check it out. If you want a flying car, well, this is one of the closest things we have right now, and it's just classic CES. This massive 6-wheel Cybertruck looking van doesn't actually fly, but you can drive it to a spot.
Real quick, Al Dente says, to me, if Starfield was successful financially, the moment the modders said that they aren't doing anything, they proved it was successful. But they aren't doing anything. They proved it wasn't successful. But the modders are doing stuff. Not all the modders are doing stuff, but there's still a shit ton of modders doing stuff for the game. Are they not? I'm confused. There's a crap ton of modders doing stuff for. So before we get to, explain to me though, El Dente, like, because I can go every single day and there's a new mod, right? I can go on Starfield's thing every single day. There's a new mod. So there are modders making stuff. Are the modders that everyone knows not making stuff, that made a name for themselves in the modding community, but now other modders are making stuff that are not known? Like, how does that work? Yeah, Ghost Wolf says mods are still going up every day for Starfield. That's what I'm saying. So how is that? How is it not successful? Not successful is games like Concord. Not successful is games that go away, that no one buys, no one plays, no one talks about. People still talk about Starfield all the time. That this says, I think I'm going over the old modders that worked in Skyrim, made a big mods, weren't working on the Starfield. But does that mean the game is not successful because a modder who loves Skyrim, okay, is not modding for Starfield? But could it not be another person that made their name as a modder for Skyrim? Isn't there not room for other people that are now going to be good modders for Starfield because they might like sci-fi better than fantasy? You see what I'm saying? Like, I get it. You're saying, well, these modders didn't want to make mods for this. Okay, they're still making mods for that game, but doesn't mean that that's not successful because a modder's not making mods for Starfield. I mean, look at Fallout London. Did any of those guys make mods for Skyrim? I don't know. But those modders who worked on Fallout London fucking blew it out of the water. They're making other games, the Sky Oblivion mod.
Then the back opens up, an electric vehicle take. You want a flying car? Well, this is one of the closest things we have right now, and it's just classic CES. This massive 6-wheel Cybertruck looking van doesn't actually fly, but you can drive it to a spot. Then the back opens up, an electric vehicle takeoff and landing vehicle slides out, and you can fly that. What?
But do you have room for milk and groceries? You're like, hey, I'm going to the store. Don't take the van with the helicopter in it.
After you're done flying, it folds down and charges up in what they call the mothership. Crazy, right? They're taking intent orders now and hope to start shipping next year. There are always out-of-this-world concept cars at CES, but the Sony Afeela is finally available for pre-order, starting at around $90,000. Oh,
Sony has a car, and it looks like you can play video games in it. Amazing.
Design is very similar to what I showed last year, and there are still no door handles. That's why I got stuck inside. It was embarrassing. The big trend this year at CES is ultra-wideband on smart locks. You can walk up to your door, and when your phone is around 3 feet away, your lock will automatically unlock. And we tried a demo in it.
Well, that's good. So if someone steals your phone, not only do they have your phone, your contacts, your credit cards, but now they can get into your house. Awesome.
Worked really well. The lock with this feature that caught my eye the most is from Lockly. They have a screen on the inside of the door lock, and you can see who's outside. My kids really need this so they're not always opening the door to see who it is. The lock can open from scanning your face, and it has all the bells and whistles, but the thing I love the most...
What I do like about... Because we have a lot of locks around the property that's code-based, right? And when we hire different people, we can change the codes out, or we give individual codes for those people. What I don't like about these touch keypad type of stuff is that over time, you know what the code is, because you're taking the numbers and you're condensing them down, because your fingerprint leaves oil and then dirt, and then it's hard to clean them because they're like a rubberized number pad. You know what I'm talking about? So you can see what numbers get pressed the most. Okay, then you just got to figure out what it is. Now with a touch screen like that, that's pretty cool because you could just wipe the screen after and you don't know what number it is. I know it sounds ridiculous, but as a person that uses these code numbered things all the time, that's a problem.
Is the thumb turn on the outside. It saves battery life and forces the lock closed if it's jamming on the frame. So smart. It felt like everywhere I looked at CES there was some sort of smart glasses, but there was one that really caught my eye. Pun intended, because it doesn't have a smart screen. Instead, it beams a screen into your eye.
What? You're shooting a beam into your eye? That can't be good. That can't be good. So I'm just shooting a beam of laser in my eye, and I can see the thing bouncing off of my eye, and that's what I'm seeing. That can't be good.
didn't even know this was possible, but there's this little LED that I can slide around to point straight at my eyeball. It worked pretty well, and there were touch controls on the glasses to interact with the screen beaming into my eye. The only problem is you have to look up to see the screen, and I don't mind looking up, but explaining to my wife that I'm looking.
This can't be good. This can't be good. Yeah, just all day long, there's a green laser shooting into your eyeball. I'm sure, what could go wrong?
Looking at a screen and not rolling my eyes at her, that could lead to some fights. LG.
Can I just back it up there for a second? Do you think enough fingerprints are on that piece of glass right there? That's like 1,000 people's fingerprints all over that glass. And then those people are putting that piece of glass up to their eye to go, oh, yeah, look, I got green. Not only are they getting green lasers shot into their eye at the convention, but they're also getting some sort of conjunctivitis because no one wiped down the glasses in between.
LG always goes hard at CES, and their transparent OLED TV display is on a whole new level. Look at it, it's beautiful. But I'm still not convinced I need one, or that TV that can be carried around. Seriously, why?
LG, stand by me too. Unleash a portable entertainment anywhere. Why do I want to carry a television set?
Who carries around a TV? Their concept AI running a home was very intense and maybe a little scary. That's coming from me, so that should tell.
Why does my alarm clock have eyes? Why does it have eyes? Does it need eyes?
Tell you something, but their concept microwave was pretty sweet. Basically replacing the microwave glass door with a 27-inch tablet. It has intelligent cooking sensors, but what's
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
sold me was all of the quick start buttons, since we all know that those are the best. Of course, there are 3 cameras for the food content creators.
Oh, for God's sakes. Well, I do see this as far as like if you're having like FaceTime with your parents or grandparents and stuff like that. Cool.
But there's also a speaker, and it can play videos on apps like YouTube. I would totally watch videos in the kitchen on my microwave. It makes way more sense than the fridge to have a screen. But I don't know, would you use something like this?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would use it or not. I mean, right now I just put my phone on a little stand or my iPad in the stand, and I'll watch videos like when I'm doing dishes or whatnot. I don't know. I'd rather just use a television set because I can move it around where I need it to be. You know what I mean?
All right.
Right, food content creator and use a microwave. All right, we're going to make something really cool today. We're going to make something where you mac and cheese, put in a thing, and boop.
Something that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg is the Linkshura Aura. It's a little smart button with an e-ink display, which makes it much more useful than a traditional smart button. The display lets you switch between different devices and not have to guess what each button does. It works with Wi-Fi, Zigbee, and Bluetooth, plus later this year, Matter devices too. You can use it to control your phone and tons of other use cases. It's $30, which isn't bad for all that it can do, and it'll be.
But what does it do? I'm confused. What is this?
Alright, something that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg is the Linkshura Aura. It's a little smart button with an e-ink display, which makes it much more useful than a traditional smart button. The display lets you switch between different devices and not have to guess what each button does. It works with Wi-Fi, Zigbee, and Bluetooth, plus later this year, Matter devices too. You can use it to control your phone and tons of other use cases.
How hard is it to just pick up the phone? How hard is it to pick up the phone to use the phone? Are we literally making devices now where I'm like, well, I don't need it. This is my pocket. And I'm going to pull this out of my pocket and use a small controller. Sometimes technology to me is ridiculous. Because it's like, someone's trying to... I talked about this like months and months and months ago, maybe even years ago, right? Remember when people were like, you could change your channel by just doing this, right? Like, the thumb on a controller is the most efficient thing that you could do. Input, put a number, volume, channel change, like, right? I shouldn't have to wave and do all these other things. Like, We went to a touch screen on purpose. So you didn't have to do all these things. And now you don't want to touch the phone. Now you want to touch a small little device. It makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me, chat.
It's $30, which isn't bad for all that it can do, and it'll be available around the middle of this year. It wouldn't be CES without lots and lots of robots. I shook hands with one, Allie gave it a hug. Whoa, slow down there. Little furry ones on a purse. Plus there was one playing.
First of all, hands like this when you're changing your channel, if you're Italian, that's a bad combination. You're in your living room having a conversation. You're like, yeah, I was going to the store today. And the channel's changing. And then the volume's going up. It's going mute, unmute, changing. It's like all the stuff, input's changing. You're like, what the hell's happening? Dad's having a conversation again. Put your hands down.
The piano, but somehow it wasn't that good at playing. People were going nuts over this Unitree robot dog. It was standing up and doing all these tricks, but luckily it didn't.
Hey, look, this robot can punch you in the dick. This robot can punch you in the dick. Watch. That's what these things are going to be used for. Did you guys see my new robot dog? Yeah, what does it do? Watch this. Bend down. Bam. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Robot punching dick.
Attack anyone. The price starts at $1,600, but that's so much less than the $74,000 Boston Dynamics dog. They also had a humanoid robot walking around, and if you want my opinion, these robots will not take over the world and destroy us.
Yet.
We're ready to fight these things. What will take over the world are the cute little robots no one's expecting.
Why? That is the next horror movie right there. That right there is the next horror movie.
Like the ones from TCL called Hey Amy. You can drive.
What were those things? What were those things called when we were younger, or when I was younger? The little things that like blink at you and they make all those fucking noises. What were those things? That you're like, you just want to like crush with your hands. What were those things called? Oh, give me 1 second. Furbies. That's what it was. Yeah, it's a Furby. Sorry about that. I take a phone call real fast.
Dress it up and look how adorable it is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, let's take 3 home.
That right there is MODOK. Right? That right there is MODOK. That's it. That's where MODOK starts. Okay? Tell me I'm wrong. They're like, what happened? Well, it was a toy that no one wanted to play with me anymore, and it became sentient. Then it started a whole new. Right, that's it, right there. That is the Furby MODOK.
Never turn on us. Wait a second. Oh, and stay tuned until the end for the hottest robot around.
Who's using robots like this? I know why people are using robots like that.
Speaking of robots, the robot vacuums had a lot of crazy updates this year at CES. SwitchBot got creative, and you can add modular attachments to
Hey, look, it's R2-D2.
their K20 Plus Pro. Then it can bring you a drink, purify the air, and maybe even have a hypothetical claw arm. The company Dreamy was like, hold my cleaning solution, and made a robot vacuum that actually has a robot arm with a claw. It can also prop itself up, and they also had one that could climb small stairs. I never saw the claw arm pick anything up, so I don't know if it really works, and it adds.
Why? Again, a robot picking up a sock, I can just pick up a sock.
Adds a lot of bulk to the top of the vacuum. Then Roborock said, that's cute, but check this out. A robotic arm with a claw that pops out of the vacuum and can fold completely into the body. Plus, it's only 7.98 centimeters tall, which
No, that robot doesn't go upstairs, Krebsy. It goes up. It's supposed to just go up a small little like dividers in the room. Sometimes like a little lip, and the robots would hit it and back out. Now it can go over it.
Which is crazy thin. The mechanical arm can pick up items under 300 grams.
That's true, Water. I might get a cramp. I picked up my sock, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, and then I'm down. I'm on the ground, and the robot comes over to me and just starts hitting you in the head, and then it takes the claw and it starts to try to pick you up because you're on the ground. You're like robot, I got a cramp, and it's not helping you. It's just picking up the socks and it's trying to. It thinks you're a sock, so it's just trying to pick you up now. That's what would happen.
Grams or around a half pound like socks. And the way it works is it cleans the floor around it first and then moves the obstacles out of the way so it can clean where it was. It does all of this by itself and it was incredible to see. The vacuum is called the Saros Z70 and it will be available sometime in the middle of this year. There's so much more to talk about with the Claw and the other vacuums with features Roborock has never done before. Doing a dedicated video on it in a few days, so keep an eye
I can't wait to see dance videos. Everyone with their robot with arms.
out for it.
Or their vacuum with arms.
Okay, I know AI is talked about way too much at CES, and it annoys me too, but the company Brisket has a few implementations of it that seem interesting. Using their app, you can describe the meat you want to smoke or even upload an image. Then it uses AI to generate recipes and start cooking the food. It will guide you through any extra steps and even do things automatically like turn down the
I don't even know where to go with this. Why do I need AI to tell me a recipe? There's books, there's Google, there's a million different ways to do it. Now I'm going to ask AI how to cook a brisket.
temperature if you forgot about it, which can be helpful because smoking meat can take hours. There's also
Hours of delicious meat being smoked and cooked.
a less expensive, smaller version with all the same features coming out in February for $400. The Aqara booth was packed with never before seen smart home devices like the G410 doorbell camera. It's 2K, has facial recognition,
Dustin, do you use AI to tell you what games to buy today?
built-in millimeter wave for presence detection, supports RTSP for Home Assistant, and integrates with Apple Home. Plus, it works as a Matter controller for Thread devices, just like the highly anticipated G5 Pro camera. They also showcase touchscreens that replace light switches, including the larger S1 Plus, which displays live camera feeds and controls Matter-enabled devices, and the sleeker dial.
I'm guilty of using ChatGPT for recipes and tips, but why can't you just type what you're doing? I have a recipe for brisket. Google does the same thing, right? So ChatGPT is doing what? It's giving you recipes that it's learning from other people's recipes, which is the same thing as doing a search in Google right now for something like that.
V1 touchscreen. Both launch in the EU this month and in the US.
Right? Because it's ChatGPT or AI in general is learning from other people's recipes that they're putting in, which is just a Google search. Dustin says, I think the military's face recognition is more advanced than this. Of course it is. Of course it is. Dustin, I've told stories before that I've seen tech that we just started seeing now that I saw 20 years ago.
Later this year. The device that I had the most questions about was the FP300, a battery-powered millimeter wave sensor, which hasn't existed until now. It combines PIR and millimeter wave, activating millimeter wave only when the PIR detects
because if you have doubts, you can ask it like it's a teacher. But the problem I see is that if you just take it for face value, right? You're just assuming that it's telling you the best thing. That's a lot of trust to give to an AI, right? Where a person tells you something and you're wondering, you know, like if you ask me a brisket, I'll be like, oh yeah, you smoke a brisket, you do, and I would tell you something, and that would be the same thing. But you're asking a non-living being how to cook brisket. To me, I get it. I understand why people. I mean, I'm making songs and stuff, but I'm not asking it how to do certain things, right? I totally get it. I just think it's a little weird that we were so at ease to just let this tell us what to do. You see what I'm saying? I get that you guys are using it for certain things, but I'm just like, if a doctor told you something or a lawyer told you something, you'd be like, I don't know if I trust them. But ChatGPT tells you something, you're like, well, it told me something. I'm going to go with it.
Motion, then turning it off to save battery when the room is empty. Pretty smart. Okay, this next display is super trippy and blew my mind. It's an ultra reality display like VR.
I'm sorry. What is this now? Let me see.
Then turning it off to save battery when the room is empty. Pretty smart. Okay, this next display is super trippy and blew my mind. It's an ultra reality display like
Ultra reality display.
VR without the headset. But what they're announcing at CES is the UR Extended, and it's crazy. This display has multiple layers of depth.
Now we're getting into something here, right? Now you're getting a VR head display without putting it on your face.
So your eyes can focus on things close to you or further away, and it's difficult to capture how cool it looks on camera because it just looks like the display is changing focus, but it's not. That's just my camera focusing on the different layers. It's nuts to view this in person, and it's pricey at $12,000, so
$12,000.
I don't think we'll be seeing this in everyone's house soon, but it's a cool concept. Next up is XGamey, today's sponsor, with something that really surprised me at CES. Check this out. This is the XGamey Ascend, an all-in-one home theater
that's cool.
saves space and style. It features an ultra short throw screen that rises from a Harman Kardon soundbar. Yes, that sleek furniture looking piece is actually a soundbar with 8 speakers. Even though the soundbar
This has got to be expensive. This is like 15 grand.
is low to the ground, the speakers are positioned to point at ear level when sitting. It supports Dolby Atmos and the sound is incredible. The image quality was bright and crisp, even with the ceiling lights
There's a window directly behind there, and it's still pretty damn good lit.
on, thanks to the ALR screen, which blocks overhead light but not the projectors. It feels just like a massive TV, and when not watching a movie, it can go partially up for different modes to have on in the
I like that. I like that.
background. And its ultra short throw design means the projector can sit very close to the screen, keeping the setup super compact. When the screen is fully down, it barely takes up any space. The Ascend launches later this year, but if you can't wait, check out the Aura 2 short throw projector available now, or consider the Horizon S Max, a more affordable long throw option with the same great tech as the Horizon Max. Huge thanks to XG.
What I would do with this piece of furniture, because I don't like that the projector just sits on the ground like that, it'd be awesome if they built it where it slid in and then came out. Do you know what I mean? I hope it just doesn't sit there. Maybe it does slide under.
For supporting the channel. CES is so much fun, especially when the CEO of Strut tells you to run him over on a motorized wheelchair.
I'm gonna ram the CEO. Here we go.
I'm sitting in the most high-tech wheelchair I've ever seen, with quad motors and 2 LiDAR sensors in front. Those map out 360 degrees around the wheelchair, and it's displayed on the little screen. This allows me to just push forward or backward on the control stick, and the wheelchair automatically avoids running into any walls. So cool.
That's cool.
So when the CEO told me to run him over, well, I couldn't because the sensors stopped me. And I tried running over others on the show floor, but the wheelchair just avoided everyone. And I promise, I'm not this dangerous while
Put it in the ceiling? I guess.
driving. Just when I think all the RGB lamps have been invented, Govee surprises me again with their booth. They have these massive skyline kits that mount from the floor to the ceiling or from one wall to the other. There's also the Table Lamp Pro 2. It can do multiple colors at once and has a clear section to show off the JBL speaker inside. Kind of reminds me of the old Apple Pro
I hated the JBLs. We used to sell them a lot in Apple. I hated them.
clear speakers, but with RGB. Plus, Gobi showed off a new Pixel light. Looks kind of like a game controller, but it uses AI to display pixel art. It comes in 2 sizes, and I think my kids would love something like this. Gobi is trying to make more practical lights too, and not only RGB lights for gamers. Like this ceiling light, it's extremely bright and the warm and cool whites look great. Plus there's an ambient light that can be controlled independently that bounces light off the ceiling. Since this
I have a light like that in my kitchen. Because the way our house was set up, the kitchen, like to turn the kitchen light on is across the kitchen. So like we would come in at night and it would never turn on. So I added one of these like light sensors. One of the greatest things ever.
works with Matter and looks nice, I would
It's like censored. As soon as you walk into the kitchen, the light turns on.
consider this for
And
my
when you
smart
leave, it
home.
shuts off.
Nice work, Gobi. If you eat too many salty foods like I do, you have to see this shocking device. It's a spoon
A spoon.
invented in Japan with an electric current to make your food taste saltier. Yes, seriously, it shocks you. I was nervous to try it since
Oh, I see. So it shocks you and then basically turns your taste buds to make it to taste like there's salt.
I didn't want to share a spoon with all of CES, but I'm doing it for you guys. You have to hold a spoon like a toddler to keep the current going through, and I felt a slight shock at the front of my tooth and my brain short-circuited. But it tasted a little saltier, I guess. And don't worry, I licked the spoon really clean for the next person to try. Also, a couple of affordable smart thermostats were announced at CES, which I'm a big fan of. First is the Ecobee Essential.
I don't know if I would take like licking a toilet seat. I don't know if I would do that.
It's $129 and basically a nicer looking Ecobee light. So it doesn't have presence sensing, but that can be added with a remote sensor. It doesn't work with Matter, unlike the next thermostat, the X2S from Honeywell Residio. This one is not flashy at all, but it does work with Matter and it's only $80. So if Matter and affordability are your main requirements, then Honeywell has you
Yeah, the light sensor is really cool. Dolphin.
covered. All right, how do you know if someone cold plunges? It's easy. They'll tell you about it non-stop. At least that's what the founder of Chill Shark told us at the booth, and he for sure cold plunges. If you want to join the phenomenon but don't want another tub, well, this is your solution. It turns any bathtub into a cold plunge and takes just 2 hours to go from 70 to 45 degrees.
2 hours. I gotta fill a bathtub up 2 hours before I want to go in.
Right now, the pre-sale price is $2,400, and this seems like a cool, or I should say freezing, portable solution for using what you already have in your home. This next device is one of the easiest installs ever, especially for water monitoring. Droplet attaches to the outside of your main water line, then it measures water flowing through at a rate of 50 times per second. Basically, you can teach it what different activities are so it can track how much water you're using. Then if something seems out of the ordinary, it alerts you of a leak. They did
Now that's interesting. We could use that here.
a demo of a leaking sink and it worked really well, which is always impressive to see a demo actually work at CES. It's $229 and available now. Probably the strangest booth at CES was Samsung's. I wandered around looking for the new devices they announced at CES. The Frame Pro TV, the stretchy screen, the big foldable, and I found nothing. They just talked a lot about smart things, which you would think would be a good thing since they're taking smart homes more seriously. Nope. All the features were just things announced last year, so the biggest part of their booth didn't get one upgrade since last year.
What? They went to a show and didn't show anything?
Okay. But wait, they showed you how you can use smart things on your yacht? I wish I was
So weird looking boat. You know what that looks like? I've seen that before. You guys remember the show V? Remember the show V? The little escape pods they came out of the big ships, the motherships from? What it looks like.
making this up, but I promise this is real. I mean, how many yacht owners are walking through this booth looking for a smart home system for it? I told you, strangest booth at CES. Anchor Solix line has 2 new devices that are perfect for camping. First, their Everfrost
No, not V for Vendetta. V, the movie V, where the aliens come down and take over the planet.
Cooler is an electric cooler available in March. It comes with a detachable battery for up to 52 hours of refrigeration.
It's actually a TV show.
You can also add a second battery and plug in your devices to charge when it's not cooling. Once it's time to recharge the cooler, well, that's when you whip out your solar umbrella. This was just announced and it supports 100 watts of output and it will be available this summer. It's nice that you can escape the real world by bringing all this tech out into nature with you, so you can doom scroll and not run out of battery. Okay, I saved one of my favorites for last. Batteries and smart home sensors can be a major pain, but that could be a thing of the past. WePower is using kinetic energy to power smart home sensors. They showed how a button press can send a Zigbee signal to turn on a light or know if a door is opened or closed. But what I really liked is the water leak sensor. Instead of using a battery that will die over time or not even alert you about a leak after the battery dies, well, this uses paper. Check it out. Wrap this small piece of paper around the sensor using a magnet to set the sensor, and it could sit there for like 10 years and be totally fine. Then when water hits it, the paper naturally breaks and the sensor sends a Zigbee signal that the leak is detected. I love how they're thinking outside the battery and solving real issues. I had a blast at CES this year and the tech keeps getting crazier.
Because you don't need a battery. Right? Because you don't know if your battery's dead and the leak wouldn't happen. But if you have a piece of paper and the piece of paper breaks, then it would break the connection. If it breaks the connection, then you have to know you have to go replace the paper. Then you would check on the thing and you would see a problem. Interesting.
Whoa, what's all these guys gathering around this booth for? It's just a robotic lady that looks lifelike. I don't see why... Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Never mind.
Yeah. That's exactly what you're thinking. Exactly what you're thinking, chat. Exactly what you're thinking.
Yeah, that's not creepy at all. Nope, just completely normal.
That's exactly what you're thinking. Let me see if I can find the thing I was talking about. Yeah. That is the ship. That's the ship that I was talking about. Looks pretty goddamn close to that boat. Pretty goddamn close. Let me see if I can back up a second. Let me.
This booth, look this up, but
All right, let's take that. That's pretty close. Pretty close. Not quite, but that's what it reminds me of. Yeah. Maybe they're from the planet from the same people. They were lizard people. We have robotic women already. They're called strip clubs. Yeah, the bottom part. Yeah. All right. That is CES. I don't think there's more than 3 days. I think there was 3 days. I think it started on I think Tuesday. Unless they haven't cut. If there's more, we'll wait and see if there's more. But I'm pretty sure they're done. I think it was only 3 days. That VR, or that I should say that virtual reality display was interesting because it's just a television set with depth, right? Which also reminds me of the 3D TV that I saw back in 2006, where I still haven't seen that in actual practicality of the world, where I saw 3D TV without glasses. and it looked amazing back then. I've yet to see that. I've yet to see that. I was like, this is the future, and haven't seen it. So, all right. So on today's show, we talked about Marvel Rivals. We talked about new characters. We talked about the how well it's doing. We talked about speculations and what they should do. We talked about CES. We talked about what was the other thing we talked about? Oh, we talked about the PC Game Pass and whatnot. So those are the main topics. If you missed anything on today's show, you can go back and check it out. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I am done for the day. We'll be back for the Daily Grind tomorrow morning. So if you like the Daily Grind, come back. We're here Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. We'll be back tonight to play some more Marvel Rivals. If you guys want to play, come on back tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, for some gameplay for Marvel Rivals. We're just hang out, play some games, have some fun. Appreciate you very much. If you'd like to go above and beyond for the channel, if you want to be a subscriber, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. You guys have a great rest of your evening, day, or I guess night, morning, wherever you guys are in the world. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Sunshine, rise and shine. The Daily Grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. We're nitty, tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the Daily Grind, your morning fix. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming all the ways. Controller ready, headset too, we've got the updates just for you. From late night streams to morning plays, we cover gaming all the ways. Laughs and news, our winning blend, the show with you, our dearest friend. Comments rolling, chats alive, the Daily Grind, 5-star vibe. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the Daily Grind, your morning fix. Good morning, sunshine, rise and shine. The Daily Grind is here on time with gaming news and fun galore. We'll chat and entertain once more. The coffee's hot, the mic is on. Jump in the chat, let's have some fun. From pixels small to stories grand, we bring the magic to your hand. Tune in daily, don't you miss entertainment wrapped in bliss. From new releases, tips and tricks, the Daily Grind, your morning fix. Come on in, your morning